All right. Hello, hello. Friends of others, Adina God lovers. How are you doing today? So nice to see you guys today again. So, growing up, something very funny happened. I am the very first born child of six children, and we were living in the north then. And then I remember very well that, you know, if there's anything my father hated in particular, is, you going out and seeing something and eat it like you've never had it. Or you seeing something in somebody's hand while they're eating it, and he looks at you and sees you like obviously swallowing saliva, all because you understand you want what the person is having. So I remember growing up, most times when we come back from school, being the first born child of the family, my mom already put aside our food and all that. All I have to do is maybe warm it or some other simpler things like noodles, quickly make them and then serve my younger one, serve myself. We get to eat. Everybody do your homework, then get some siesta before they are back from work. But there were these times, oh God, this is funny. I don't know if it happened to any of you. There were these times that my father would sneak in on us from the office. He would just show up when we were back from school. We wouldn't even know, like, checking on us. And if he catches you doing the wrong one, you get a good spanking. So, and then this very day he sneaked in on us as his manner is. But he always, sometimes he will just knock. Sometimes we get to hear his vehicle, pull up in front of the house because our house was by the roadside. And everybody will be like, oh, daddy is there. Arrange this, arrange it, put the pillow here. And he will come in. Why is everywhere looking scattered? Has this floor been mopped? You didn't get time to mop it before going to school. So why haven't you cleaned it since you came in from school? I said, Daddy, we just came back. We just want to eat, get our homework done, get a little rest. I will still do it. There was this pressure on me as the firstborn. You're the mother. You're in charge when the parents are not around. You have to make sure everything is working well, everything is going fine, and all that. I tell you, the pressure is real because there were times I was like, my God. Oh well. So we kept going, and then this day he sneaked in on us. He came through the backyard. We had the gate at the backyard, so he just came in from there, and none of us knew. And so when he came in, we just there was no way to arrange ourselves, because like I say, he sneaked in on us. I was in the kitchen. I just had my name, and I told him, I said, "Oh, Daddy, good afternoon, sir. You're back." He said, "No, I just came to have lunch with you people." I said, "Okay, I will get you a plate." He said, "Where's everybody?" I said, "They're inside." I didn't even know that by then my younger brother, Mark, you know, um, had left the house. Mark had the habit of leaving the house to go and play with friends and will end up eating there, sometimes even sleep there, do everything there, and come back in the evening, just shortly before he knows my parents will be back. And so he said, "Where is Nono?" Because his name is Chukunonso, that's in our dialect. And I said, "Oh, I thought he was there with you." "You thought what? You thought what? Don't you know you're their mother? Don't you know you have to watch over them? You didn't even know when he left the house. Are you that irresponsible?" You will hear all manner. You have to be up and doing to please everybody because you are the Ada, the firstborn. So my younger brother, the first male child of the family, had to go to our neighbors, and pulled Mark from there. Mark had oil all over his mouth, his chest, and all that. I will always warn him. I will always warn him. Like most times when I will look for him, I will say, "And now, so go and get him." And by the time they go and get him, they will come back always with oil, onions, pepper, or all manner. I say, "This thing you do." Okay, now I've called it to come. And he says, "I don't want to eat. I've eaten cocoyam." He was in love with cocoyam. He loved eating it at the neighbor's place. So this very day, my father warned him when my brother brought him in. He said, "If you ever try this nonsense again," they didn't like us eating out anyhow. You know, there was no tension, there was no pressure, there was no fear. My village people, or what if that family is against us and they want to like unalive one of you? No, there was less of this those things. But he didn't like it. He felt it was a habit he was beginning to develop and he wouldn't have it. So he warned him. And some other time he came in again, sneaked in on us, and Nono was still not at home. And he scolded me after everything I told you. I said, Daddy, sometimes I'm here doing this thing. And you know, sometimes you even have these younger ones, you just want them to go and play so you have your peace. When the food is ready, I'll call you. So my brother went again to bring him. And my father said, again, with all you staying there. My father was like, and he hates to see us looking unkept. And that was how, my brother, my dad took off and came back later that evening with a sack of cocoyam, I tell you, a sack of cocoyam. And he called me, he said, this cocoyam is for your brother Nonso. I said, Daddy, I thought it was for all. He said, no, 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 no. The cocoyam is for him. He's going to have it for breakfast, he's going to have it for lunch, he's going to have it for dinner. And then when it's dinner time, he wanted his seat. He wanted him to sit next to him. He sit next to my father's seat, because he sits as the head of the family here. And then as he sits here, there's a seat here. It was a dining table with I think about 10 chairs, six of us, the children, my mom and my dad, that's 8 of us, and I think about 2 house helps staying with us who usually assist my dad, in his business place, and my mom also, a lady who assists her in her salon, and her fashion designing shop then. And that was it. I kept cooking and my brother was beaming with smiles. He felt, oh, I have really won this jackpot. He thought he had really hit a jackpot because he loved cocoyam. I don't know, for whatever reason, you know. We ate it every once in a while, but it wasn't really something I was crazy about. So each time we were cooking it, I even remember the very first time I was cooking it, was Daddy said it's only for me. Daddy said it's only for me. Nobody should have anything, out of it. And so we'll cook and serve him, and I just shake my head and I said, you don't know what you're up against. You're in for it. And so this went on and on and on and on and on. And there was this particular day, sometimes anyway, my father would come back with snacks, We used to have this tuwo chinkapa then in Kaduna State, a very nice Hausa dish. And then there was this suya and masa, kilishi, and we'll have it with kosh or green sand chandy of those days, or is it a guarana drink? I don't know if some of you are familiar with these drinks. Can you type it down there and say, oh, it was my era, it would be nice to hear. Yeah, we had three top, good drinks then, So we had some snacks before dinner. And by the time it was dinner time, I set the food for him next to my father's chair and all that. And he was eating. He was eating, but because of hard snacks, he didn't eat it with this much excitement like before. And gradually he started pulling back. Gradually, he was stopped. And he would call my dad, oh, daddy. My father said, no, eat your cocoyam, my son. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy come on. Cocoyam is very good for no. Made a song out of it and all that. And my mom was like, dear, I think this boy has. He said, no, 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 no. He said he has had enough. Have you had enough? Eat cocoyam. Not so loves cocoyam. And he kept struggling, trying until he had about 2 or 3 small balls left. He started weeping. He broke down. My father said, no, don't cry. You better eat that cocoyam. You've got to finish it. And at the time, we all intervened and he left him. The next day, he still had it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, yeah. And he kept it. In fact, at the time, this boy wanted to like cry. He busted out. Because I love cocoyam. Ah, and Later on, my brother passed at 22. That was in the year 2002. Until he died, trust me, my brother never ate cocoyam. He never touched it. The sight of it irritated him. He didn't. He didn't like it. He jumped over to granite, boiled granite. He would go to friend's house, get granite in his pocket. And my father said, hey, again, bought a sack of granite. And this time the boy was scared. He said, relax, it's for the family. But if you misbehave again, I will get you eating granite for breakfast, lunch, and he said, Daddy, no, no, no. Oh my God, those were good old days. So that was how every one of us learned our lesson that if you go out craving for something and you show it too much, you are in for trouble because my father will bring a sack of it for you home. There were times that live chicken were killed, slaughtered, grilled, and we had them as snacks. We had a lot. I mean, sometimes you will buy a full goat and people will come and kill it and all that. You share it, put in the freezer. So you go out, you see these things, you're not moved. And that was how my father wanted it. That was how he wanted it. He will tell you, I might not be so very wealthy, but we were comfortable. But that thing you will see outside that will make you to keep going outside, tell your father, I'll buy it and bring home. Even television, even games, I'll bring it home. And that taught us as children, growing up, to learn to be content with whatever we had. We hardly saw people's things and looked at it with jealousy or I wanted it. And not really, no way, nada. So I just don't know. If you are somebody who has been longing to see maybe how you could stop some craving that make your children look like, they are longer throats, okay, you could try that. It's just that these days and times, buying certain things, I don't know, quite very expensive with the kind of economy we have now. But God will help us all. I just thought to share because it really instilled something in us. Until today, we know if you want something you're craving for it, go out and buy it and bring it in. Don't have to go to people's houses salivating and acting or behaving like, you know, I don't know, you a glutton just because you saw something you've not eaten or something you've been eating, but because you like it, you want it often. It's not done. So that was what happened. And then sometimes when I remember these stories, I share some with my children and I tell them, I say, those were good old days. Many stories like that I share with them. Maybe as time goes on, I'll keep sharing some here on Truth in Every Word. And my father left us, was it December 2020? And none left earlier, before him. And sometimes I'm like, oh wow, life. Now we talk about it, we laugh, then it wasn't funny. None of their deaths was funny in our house. We didn't find it funny. But they were good old memories, beautiful memories created. And I still hold on to many of them to today. All right, friend. God bless you. Ciao.